Welcome back. So now we're going to take a look at some examples. So here's our first 4 examples. We need to figure out if these are major, minor, augmented, or diminished. So we're just going to go through and do the work and solve it. There's no guessing with this. It's very logical. You go through step by step. So here's our first example. Our bottom letter is C. We know from our circle of fifths that C major has no sharps and no flats. I write C major, no sharps, and no flats. So, C to E flat. Is there an E flat in the key of C major? So what have they done? What have they done? They've lowered the third. So this can now be either minor or diminished. Okay? Because minor and diminished both have a minor third. Let's tilt this down a little bit. There we go. That's much better. So, we have a minor third. Let's look at the top note. It is a G. Is there a G in our key signature? No? Is there like 3 people in this class right now? Let's try this one more time. Is there a G in the key signature? No. No, there's not. You see, Cash, this is what you should be doing in class, participating more. And you, D-man, you should be talking less, okay, and actually saying the answers more. All right? Sassed and sassed. All right. So there is no G in the key signature. It's just been left as it is. So is this a perfect fifth, a diminished fifth, or an augmented fifth? It's a perfect fifth. Thank you, Rhiannon. That's why you're my favorite. I was just seeing if Tris was jealous because he was my last favorite. Okay, so here we have a minor third and a perfect fifth. So this is just minor. What would we have to do to this to make it diminished? Lower the fifth. If we put a flat on here, then it would be diminished. If you understand, say yes. Yes. If you don't understand, say no. Okay, I'm moving on. If you're bored, imagine my position when nobody answers my questions, okay? It's so much more fun for a teacher when you answer our questions, all right?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Rhiannon. All right, next example. Bottom note is G. What's the key signature of G?
F sharp.
F sharp, we know because we use our circle of fifths. And then we look at these intervals. So this note here is a B. Is there a B in our key signature?
No.
No. So why have they got a flat on there?
Perhaps it could be a minor.
Because they've lowered it. So this is going to be either minor or diminished. So let's look at the top note. It's a D. Is there a D in our key signature?
No.
No. So we don't have to do anything to it. So is this a perfect fifth or a diminished fifth?
Perfect.
So we are minor. Everybody get it? If you understand, say yes.
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay. Next one. We have a D. The key signature of D major, according to our circle of fifths, is F and C sharp. So let's look at our third. What note is this?
F.
Is F in our key signature?
Yes.
Is that why we have a sharp?
Yes.
Yes. So is this a major third or a minor third?
Major.
Major third. So we're either going to be major or augmented. So let's figure out. The top note is what letter?
A.
A. Is A in our key signature?
No.
So what have they done to it?
Augmented.
They've raised it. So we have a major third, an augmented fifth. Therefore, we know we're augmented.
Yes.
Ah, Cynthia just had an aha moment. Yes. If I was feeling a little more sassy, I would throw you a cookie from here. But I know that you may not catch it, and it might hit Tanvi or something like that, and then it would be on film, and there'd be a total HR incident. So I'm going to throw you a pretend cookie. Okay, ready?
I'll catch it like a dog.
Oh, great. Fantastic. See, that's why Cynthia's my favorite. All right.
Oh, unfair.
But Flavia brings us snacks, so she's really my favorite. Right, Flavia?
Yes.
Air high five. Okay, last example. We have an E on the bottom. So, what is the key signature of E major according to our circle of fifths?
F sharp, E sharp, G sharp, and D sharp.
It's amazing how some people think that, like, I know I have a lot of power with my incredible, like, magnetic energy and this super awesome shirt I got in France, but I don't have the power of telekinesis or the psychic power to hear what you're saying in your brain. So perhaps let's use our words when we answer Gordon's questions. Yeah? Okay, so everybody, what's the key signature of E major?
F sharp, G sharp, E sharp.
Thank you, children.
You're welcome.
You're all my babies, all of you. If you're my student, you're one of my babies, which is why you're one of my children. Even you, Cash, even though you keep skipping my class. All right, so E major. What is this second note?
G.
G. Is G in our key signature?
Yes.
So why haven't they put the sharp? Because what's lower than a sharp? A natural. So if this is a minor, we know it's going to be either a minor interval or a diminished. So this is our minor third. Now, what's the top note? B. Is B in our key signature? No. Well, why is there a flat? Because they lowered it. So this is a minor third, and this is a diminished fifth. So what kind of triad is this? Diminished. Let's see if I can get this by watching on the board. Oh, it's backwards. Okay. Wow, this is way harder than it looks. Ta-da! Look at that perfect circle. All right. Okay, so the next thing I need to show you is on page 67 of your book. And it is called The Technical Degrees of the Scale. All right, so I think we may have done this already. Did we talk about tonic and supertonic and mediant and leading note and all that stuff? No? I might have dreamt it, because I do dream about this class, except that usually I'm late for this class, and then I don't have my books, and then I actually don't know what I'm teaching, but you've all done a test, but I don't know the answers to the test. It's a good time. Yeah, it's nice to wake up after that dream, let me tell you. Not! Okay, so. No. No. Okay. So, if we're in the key of C major, how many different notes do we have in the key of C major?
7.
Who says 8?
I regret saying 8.
Liam regrets saying 8. Who says 7? 7. So we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then C is the same as that C. So we're going to give them numbers. Now in music, we actually use Roman numerals to number our notes because we use like Arabic numbers, like this. This is for fingering. So if you would want to play this note with finger 1, right? So we don't want to get the fingering mixed up with the degree of the scale. we use Roman numerals like this. A capital I is Roman numeral for 1. Okay? There's a 2, there's a 3, and here's a 5. From these Roman numerals, you can make all the others. So 6 is 5 plus 1. 7 is 5 plus 2. 8 is 5 plus 3. And 4 is 5 minus 1. Okay? Everybody understand? Kind of at a base level? Excellent. Now, each one of these has like a technical name as well in music. So we call this one, oh, let's get a better felt. Let's go for orange. We call this one the tonic. So not to be confused with like gin and tonic, even though I'm sure many of us would love to have that kind of tonic right now. We're just going to have a normal tonic. This means the first note of the scale. It also means the 8th note of the scale because they're both the letter C. Okay? So tonic equals 1 and 8. The second note, see how this is just one line, but this has 2? It's because it's like bigger and stronger. We call it the supertonic. Da 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 da. What theme is that? Superman. Thank you, Liam, for validating that I am so old that nobody in this room knows the theme to Superman. Okay? I'm just gonna like just shove this into my ears and like burst my eardrums because nobody answered my question. Cynthia, Brian, you guys are supposed to back me up. You must know the theme to Superman.
Not a Marvel Comics fan. Or DC.
We're just going to move on. Now, number 5 is, remember how I told you guys that perfect intervals are different than major intervals? Because the perfect intervals, the physics of them is a little bit more pleasing to the ear. The 5th note of any scale is called the dominant because it's the dominant note in the scale. I think. This is just what I think, what I believe. I might be wrong. You can try and prove me wrong, but I think I'm right. We call this the dominant. Okay? So we have the tonic and the supertonic and the dominant. Now, just before we go back to the tonic, we have a note that leads us back into the tonic. So the 7th note is called the leading note because it leads us back to C. So if we were going like C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and we went D, E, F, G, A, B, C, it would lead us into another scale. Okay? So that's the leading note. Now, number 3, we call the median, and I don't have a story about this. It's just called the median. Just learn it and memorize it. Maybe somebody else would have a better idea why it's called the median, but I don't know why, so we're just going to call it that. So now, it's the median point. Okay, did you see what happened there? So that student used her rules of deduction, and it's obviously because of my incredible drawing on the board. She saw that the tonic and the dominant have right in the median of it, number 3.
She's amazing.
That's why you're my favorite. Okay, Rhiannon? Everybody give Rhiannon a round of applause. Now, I don't care if that's right. In my mind, it is. So that's just what we're going to think. Okay. So, do you guys remember how we had a 5 with this V, and before the 5, if we put a 1, we get a 4. It's almost like we had a dominant, and then we put a number before it, like a subdominant. That's because it's called the subdominant.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you. Subdominant. I know it's been a long term. Subdominant. Okay, now, the next one. Maybe Rhiannon will know why it's called this, because I certainly don't. It's just called the submediant. So the number 6 is the submediant.
Because it's after the dominant before the leading note, so it needs to be in between the two.
But what does that have to do with the term mediant?
Because it's in between the dominant and the leading note, so therefore it will be in the middle. And the sub would mean that it's prepping you before you get to the leading note.
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
Perhaps. Yes. I think it should be called like the post-dominant, but it's not. So just remember, it's called the submediant. Now, let's say all of these out loud together. And if you're not loud enough, we're going to start again from the beginning. Okay?
Okay.
So here we go. Let's take our hoodies off of our faces. Let's put our cigars down. Okay? Maybe put your pipe away, Tammy, because I know you like to smoke your pipe in class. Get the hot dog out of your mouth over there, Perrin, okay?
Put your pants on, Gordon.
I am wearing pants. It's not that kind of class. Right?
What about the previous video that we already filmed?
You know, you give them an inch, and suddenly they're throwing tomatoes in your face. Let's say it together. Ready?
Okay.
Tonic. Super tonic.
Medium. Subdominant. Dominant. Submedium. Leading note. Tonic.
I think everyone said it. All right. So now, there's more. Let's say they ask you, how far can I go? Okay. Fantastic. We've got so much room to work here. All right. So now, oops. So now, we can make a triad on every degree of the scale. Snowman, 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 snow lady. Right, girls? Because time's up. All right. So in the key of C major, this triad, what kind of a triad is it?
Major.
It's a tonic triad. And you're right, it is major. What kind of triad is this?
Supersonic.
It's a supertonic triad. Oh, that says super Tony. It's a super Tony triad. Okay, so do you get where I'm going with this? That's the mediant triad. That's the subdominant triad. That's the dominant triad. Submediant triad. The leading note triad. And the tonic triad. So in your homework, you are going to be asked to do triads on the tonic, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the subdominant, and the dominant. Okay? Any questions? Now, notice, actually, you know what? We're just going to leave it at that. All right? So this should get you through all of the homework, these ideas. And you guys have, it's 2:45, 3, 4. So you have about 95 minutes left to work. Plus, of course, we need to take a break for for Her Royal Highness Princess Ava. Yes, who's been begging for coffee since the beginning of class. And I, like a Disney evil princess, evil villain, has been like, no, you may not have coffee. Thus concludes our second part of this class. Now go get yourself a cup of coffee. Praise Gordon!